there, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Life English Pod. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Andrew. Thanks for tuning in. We're super excited about today's topic because, let's be honest, it's something we all think about every single day.
That's right, money and personal finances. Whether you're saving up for a trip, trying to stay out of debt, or just wondering where all your money went by the end of the week, we've got you covered.
Money comes up a lot in everyday conversations, so having the right vocabulary and expressions in English is really important.
And don't worry, this won't be like a boring finance lecture. We'll keep it light, friendly, and super practical.
Plus, stay with us till the end. We've got some fun and realistic dialogues to show how this all sounds in real life.
Let's dive in.
All right, let's start with some essential vocabulary. These are the building blocks for talking about money. Ready, Sophie?
All right, let's dive in.
Essential vocabulary.
First up, income, that's the money you earn. For example, my income covers rent, groceries, and a little for savings.
Speaking of savings, our next term is savings, money you set aside for future use. For instance, I try to put at least $100 into my savings every month. Then we have expenses, things you spend money on. Like rent, food, and utilities are my biggest monthly expenses.
Next, we have budget, a plan for how you spend your money. Example, I created a monthly budget to avoid overspending, which means spending more than you planned.
Exactly. And you can overspend even if you're affluent, a fancy word for wealthy. Example, she comes from an affluent family. Let's move on to invest, putting money into something like stocks to make more money over time. For example, I started investing in mutual funds last year.
Now let's talk about debt, money you owe to someone else. Like, I'm working on paying off my student debt.
Speaking of that, let's talk about loans. That's money you borrow from a bank or another person. For example, I took out a loan to buy my car. There's also a specific kind of loan called a mortgage, which is used when you're buying a house.
Right? And when you take out a loan, you'll usually have to pay interest. That's the extra money you pay for borrowing.
Exactly. You might also pay interest when using a credit card. But on the flip side, if you save your money, it can earn interest, which means your savings grow over time. All right, let's break down cards.
Basically, there are two main types of cards, credit cards and debit cards. Credit card lets you borrow money and pay it back later, usually with interest if you don't pay it off in full. A debit card takes money directly from your bank account when you make a purchase.
And when you need cash, you can go to an ATM, automated teller machine. For example, I withdrew money from the ATM to get lunch money.
Yes, so when you withdraw money from an ATM, you're taking money out of your bank account. The opposite of that is to deposit money. This means you're putting money into your account.
Finally, let's go over 3 fun slang terms about money. The first one is broke. This means you have no money at the moment. Example, I can't go out, I'm totally broke. The second one is in the red. This means you owe more than you have, like when your bank account is negative. Example, after paying all my bills, I'm in the red again. And the last one is loaded. This is a fun way to say someone has a lot of money. Example, did you see his car? He must be loaded.
Great. That's your money vocabulary toolbox stocked. Ready for some fun expressions?
Natural expressions.
Yes, now it's time for some real-world expressions you'll hear in everyday English.
Let's start with this one. It's a rip-off. That means something is way too expensive for what it's worth. Example, $12 for a coffee? That's a rip-off.
Next, we have this idiom. I can't make ends meet. You don't have enough money to cover your basic needs. Example, with rent so high, I'm struggling to make ends meet.
Our next phrase is, living paycheck to paycheck. It means you spend almost everything you earn each month. Example, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck right now.
All right, our next phrase is tight-fisted. This describes someone who really doesn't like to spend money. Example, he's so tight-fisted, he never tips. The next one is big spender, the total opposite. This is someone who loves spending money. Example, watch out, Emma's a big spender when she's online shopping.
Okay, now for a good one, cost an arm and a leg. This means something is really expensive. Example, that designer bag costs an arm and a leg. Next up, we've got rainy day fund, money you set aside just in case of emergencies. Example, I keep some money aside as a rainy day fund just in case. And here's a classic, money doesn't grow on trees, a reminder not to waste money. Example, turn off the lights. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Nice list. These are the phrases that make your English sound supernatural. All right, let's listen to some realistic money conversations and break them down.
Daily conversations. Conversation 1. At the coffee shop.
Wait, $7 for a latte? That's a ripoff.
Sorry, prices went up again this month.
Ugh, I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. Guess it's just a black coffee for me.
Conversation 2. Talking about finances.
Can't make ends meet this month.
Why? What happened?
My car broke down and I had to use my rainy day fund. I'm totally in the red now.
Conversation 3. Planning a vacation.
Let's go to Italy this summer.
Huh, I wish. Unless you're paying. I'm broke.
Come on, don't be so tight-fisted. I'll cover the flights.
Wow, are you loaded or something?
Playful and full of expressions. Love it. Alright, let's do a quick recap. Today we covered key vocabulary, income, savings, debt, loan, credit versus debit, broke, loaded, and more. Useful expressions, it's a rip-off, tight-fisted, make ends meet, and many more. And we looked at real-life dialogues to show you how it all sounds in action.
Our challenge for you? Try using at least 3 of these words or expressions in a conversation or journal entry this week.
Thanks for spending time with us today. Next time, we're diving into weather and nature, exploring different weather conditions and the changing seasons. It's going to be a fun and fascinating session you won't want to miss.
Till then, stay smart, stay curious.
Bye for now.